Hi, my name is Kristen Morris, and this is my major project presentation. My topic was social networking, and I will be telling you how we can use social networks to target Common Core goals in our classrooms. I'm going to start out by explaining exactly what a social network is, even though most people probably already know. The definition of a social network is the use of dedicated websites and applications to interact with other users or to find people with similar interests to oneself. On this slide, you will see some icons that probably look very familiar to many of you. A lot of you probably spend a lot of time on these different apps on your phone or on your laptop, but these are the icons or symbols of some of the most popular social media websites. You've got your Instagram logo, your Facebook with the little like, thumbs up, your Twitter with the little Twitter bird, YouTube. You've even got your LinkedIn, Skype, and Pinterest logos, as well as many others. And obviously, these aren't all of the social media icons. This is just probably some of the most well known and most popular forms of social media. And all of these different websites have different uses. I know Instagram is for photo sharing, YouTube is for creating videos and posting videos to YouTube and on the website that the public can see. Twitter is for sharing short thoughts. I know there's a 140 character limit on Twitter, and Twitter also uses the hashtag feature, which many of you probably know about, where you use the pound symbol and then type in a word or phrase, and then when you click the hashtag, it takes you to all the tweets that have used that hashtag. And then my favorite would be Pinterest down at the bottom, which is kind of the little P symbol. You can't really see all of it, but Pinterest is more for idea sharing. You type in a topic, and once you type it in, all these different pins pop up. You can find different DIY stuff, different classroom ideas, decorating ideas, anything on there you can find, and it's great for teachers. If you're a teacher, you definitely need to have a Pinterest account. I know most of the women probably have these, but men, if you do not have a Pinterest account and you're going to start teaching in a classroom, you need to look into getting a Pinterest because it has tons of different worksheets and resources on there that can make your life easier as a teacher. I put this screenshot in just to show how prevalent social networks are in modern society. This screenshot is from the Arkansas Department of Education website. This is the page where I went to when I was reviewing some of the Common Core standards, and I just so happened to notice this up top. But if you look in the top right-hand corner within the navy blue bar, you'll see about 6 icons. And these are those social network website icons that we just looked at. I thought this was very interesting because even the Arkansas Department of Education has accounts for 6 different forms of social networks. We live in a media and technology driven society, and this just kind of reinforces that. Now here you will see a chart that depicts the percentage of teens ages 13 through 17 who use various social media accounts. 71% of 13 to 17-year-olds have a Facebook account. That's a lot. And then you'll see that 52% have an Instagram account. It then goes on to show some of the percentages for Snapchat, Twitter, Tumblr, and then you have a couple other popular social media websites there too. But as you can see, the majority of our teenagers are on social media in some way or another. A lot of them multiple forms of social media. Now let's find out how much time our teens are spending each day on social media. We learned that there is a large percentage of teens who have social media accounts, but according to a CNN report, teens in the United States spend about 9 hours using media for their enjoyment a day. This includes more than just social media, obviously. It includes watching TV or being on the computer. But again, we just see how media drives not only our society these days, but specifically teenagers. And most of us are going to be working with teens, whether it be middle school or high school. But I read another report where teens check their Instagram account up to 100 times a day. So if teens are checking their Instagram up to 100 times a day, that obviously means that social media is something that's very important in their lives. So, now that we understand how important it is to our young people, let's explore the different ways that we can use these social networking websites to our advantage to help them meet Common Core standards in the classroom. Each social media website serves a different purpose, but many of them can be used to target specific goals. I've taken the 4 major subjects, science, math, history, and English, and I have found a goal or 2 for each that I feel that can be targeted using social media. I'm going to be a high school teacher, so most of the goals that are on this slideshow are goals that I chose for the 11th to 12th grade age range. And I found all of these goals from the official Common Core Standards website. But first, we have science. The goal that I found for science was students will synthesize information from a range of sources, texts, experiments, simulations, into a coherent understanding of a process, phenomenon, or concept, resolving conflicting information when possible. And below the standard, I have a couple of websites listed that I thought could be helpful when targeting this goal. Obviously, they're going to have to be looking up experiments or simulations as well as text, but I thought that YouTube could be helpful for looking for experiments, different experiments. Pinterest also, since that's the idea sharing website, could be helpful for looking up some different experiments and then comparing them, because you get a lot of different ideas from videos or blogs that are found on Pinterest, and I feel like those 2 websites could be very helpful when teaching a science class. Next, we have our math standards, and the standard that I found specifically was the student will use statistics appropriate to the shape of the data distribution to compare center and spread of 2 or more different data sets. So basically, the students are required to find the median, the mean, the range, and this can be done using any set of numbers. So if, let's say, the teacher said, find me the median or mean of the age of Twitter users. They could use technology and use social media to make it interesting while doing a subject that most students think is boring because the teacher has related it back to social media. She might even let them choose which social media website that they want to use while doing this assignment. I just thought that might be something that students would be interested in. Next, we have our history and social studies standards. I think this subject is especially great for using social media because there are so many news outlets that use Twitter and Facebook to post links to their stories and columns every day. I know CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and even your local news stations, they all have Twitter accounts, they all have Facebook accounts, and many of these news outlets also have YouTube accounts as well. You can even follow our elected officials on Twitter and Facebook. That includes the president, the vice president, Speaker of the House, you name it. They all have Twitter and Facebook accounts that they send out their information from. So if a student goes to Twitter, they can find their multiple sources straight from one website, and not only in written stories, but also in videos, charts, interviews that the account has tweeted out links to. The amount of information that's related to history and social studies on social media is astounding, especially right now because we have an election going on. But by using Twitter or Facebook, they would be using media, which is written in the goal, but they would also be using multiple sources, which is in the goal, as well as diverse formats. There's more than enough information out there and from credible sources that have these social media accounts for a student to be able to answer a question or to solve a problem. Okay, so finally we have our English standards. I will be teaching high school English next August. So this is the one that I was really into, and I found two different standards that might be able to be targeted using social networks. The first one is the student will use a context as a clue to the meaning of a word or phrase. And the second one is the student will introduce a topic, organize complex ideas, concepts, and information to make important connections and distinctions, including formatting, graphics, and multimedia when useful to aiding comprehension. So, for our first goal, I tried to think of something fun that the kids might enjoy and get really into while at the same time targeting the goal. And I thought that maybe as the teacher, you could find various tweets or Facebook posts from celebrities that students admire, like singers, actors, whoever. And these tweets and Facebook posts could include words that they may not know, vocabulary words, and they could then use the context to figure out what the word or phrase means. They could use context clues to really figure out what this person is saying. I thought that might be fun for them since students are all about the singers and actors these days. But as for the second standard, students could create YouTube accounts where they share a video that they have made that introduces a topic. They could use pictures, graphs, as well as audio to aid in comprehension for their audience, and then that would be the multimedia part of the goal that is met, as well as introducing a topic and getting an audience to understand that topic. And this is also another project that would be fun for the students, as well as a learning project.